start with intros. That way, as more people want to join, that works out. So my name is Serena. I am from Pinnacle. I am a regional vice president, primarily handling the Northeast area. Some of you I may know, some of you I may not, but I do appreciate everybody signing on today. We're going to go over a great new product offering that's available in many states. So this isn't just a Northeast thing. This plan option is available in multiple states throughout the US. We've got a great presentation here today with Evan, and he'll go over this plan, why you would want to add this to your portfolio, and what that plan entails. So with no further ado, I will let Evan kick it off.
All right. Hey, thank you very much for the introduction. Hopefully everybody can hear me all right. And I tell you what, it's been great. I've been in conferences or a big long conference for the last few days, and so I'm ready to present. We've already been talking about a bunch of this stuff, so really excited to talk with you about this, because I know, particularly for those of you who have been around for a while. So I've been with UnitedHealth One for about 16 years now. So when I started out, just to kind of look at the landscape, the way it's changed, we were almost exclusively a fully underwritten major medical carrier. We had very few ancillary products, really none when I started out, if we're being honest. And again, nothing in the senior market, nothing that was even close to guaranteed issue. And so to see where we've come, this product kind of encompasses this real full circle kind of growth that we've had. It is available, targeted toward the over 65 audience. There are guaranteed issue options, and it's one of these that, as the name indicates, is meant to kind of come alongside the Medicare Advantage plans. So those of you who are selling in that market are probably going to recognize some of the aspects of the plan based on that. Now, I'm not going to talk about all the other options that we have, but I do want to let you know, if it's been a while since you've looked at our products, or maybe you've kind of sold us in a few niche areas, or you're really familiar with our dental, something like that, I would encourage you to really get out there, take a look at the other options that we've got. We have a great new accident product that's out there, a critical illness plan as well. And then, as I already mentioned, our dental. All of those are going to be able to be sold. They're all eligible for under and over 65. We have a lot of guaranteed issue options out there. So whether you work primarily under 65, you're selling ACA products, or you're more in the Medicare market, I think we have a lot of things that are going to be able to help you out, kind of round out that portfolio, give your clients a little bit more security, I guess would probably be the best thing to look at it. So one thing, just to look at this first, and some of you may already understand the need, but I think it's always important to look at this stuff nonetheless. When we look at that, the ages from about 65 to 84, almost 30% of inpatient stays were from individuals in that age bracket, right? So we're looking at overall inpatient stays, about a third of them come from that 20-year span there. That also outranks all the other groups in terms of the average cost of a hospital stay, right? More complications, there's some more serious things that are in there. So it's about $14,500 is the average cost of an overnight inpatient stay of 5 nights, right? So that'd be the average. So really, if we're talking about the total there, it's going to be significantly higher. Now, that's obviously going to vary a great deal based on where you are, but we're just looking at averages. And then if we look at just under 5,000 for last year was the weighted in-network average as far as the out-of-pocket limit for Med Advantage enrollees. So again, those things will vary, but pretty big numbers. And so I think the important thing to look at is we're, in the under 65 market. I know we're very concerned with this stuff, but you also have people who are typically still employed, still drawing an income. There's a lot going on there. When we move into this space of fixed income, right, there might be some limited means there. And maybe these folks have got some money saved up, but it can be really difficult to come up with these costs, kind of in the little loopholes as far as what their insurance coverage is not going to take care of. Now, when we look at the growth opportunity, I think this is really telling. And I don't know, I'm sure you're all very well aware of where the market is as a whole, but when we look at Med Advantage, it's expected to grow from about 30 million beneficiaries in 2022, and then that's going to increase up to about 42 million by 2031. So you're going to see continued growth across this. At least that's what's projected when we look at some of those. But that aging population, right, means higher Medicare enrollments. That's going to continue to increase, maybe as many as 95 million over the next 25, 30 years or so. And inflation is obviously rising as well, right? So the costs are getting higher and higher. So as people are looking for ways to cover those medical expenses, it's one thing to look at it now, but we've also got to look into the future, because those things, I'm sure you already know this, costs are not going to go down for healthcare, right? So spending here was about 1.5 trillion when we look at Medicare last year. Again, that's only going to get higher. If we look at, here's where these hospital indemnity plans, right? So we look at the market as a whole. Now let's look at what is out there for this, for our Medicare Advantage customers. We look at something like this Advantage Guard. There's about 13.2 million Medicare Advantage enrollees, and this was as of September. So, you know, those numbers might change a little bit. We launched this product last September. Not the best timing, admittedly, right? You roll it right ahead of AEP. People are already kind of in a frenzy, and so trying to roll out a new product at that point, not great, but we're really hoping to gain some momentum there. But what's really kind of wild about this to me is, out of those 13.2 million members, fewer than 1% of them actually had an indemnity plan to go alongside of it. So if you look at that and say, if we only had 1%, if we just got this plan to 1% of people, maybe not even ours, but a hospital indemnity in general, you'd be looking at another 132,000 enrollees. And 1% seems like nothing, right? So if we go take it a step further and you say, how about a 10% attachment rate, which also seems pretty low, and especially when you kind of look at how this product will work, that's the potential for 1.3 million new enrollees. And on this, you know, I'm just showing a few of the states on here that kind of give you some of the highest rates, but we can certainly see, you know, all across the country, there's a tremendous opportunity there. And I'll give you a look at where this product's available. It continues to grow, and we're going to be, I think by this summer, we should be in about 41 states, is I believe the number we'll be at. I'll show you that map here in just a little bit. But I think this opportunity that exists out here is very, very significant in terms of growth. And consider this, right? We already looked at how this Medicare Advantage population is expected to grow. And along with that, if we're able to add on at a higher and higher percentage, that's going to grow as well. So these numbers just continue to get a lot bigger. So what sets Advantage Guard apart, right? Why would this be different from another hospital indemnity plan that's out there? I think the first thing is the brand. And it's really easy. I'm obviously very, very biased because that brand and that logo are on my paycheck. So I kind of have to be an advocate, but it's very difficult to look around and see, you know, poke holes in the idea that United is one of the most, if not the most respected brand name in healthcare in the United States. I mean, you're talking about just a massive company. When you look at UnitedHealth Group, including Optum, we are dealing with tens of millions of people across the country all the time across various lines. So you look at Medicare, you look at ACA, group coverage, individual ancillary, student, we're all over the place. And so I think that's what's nice, is that so many fewer carriers offer these hospital indemnity plans than what we might consider for most kind of more traditional health products. Then to be able to come in with a product like this, along with the brand name that United has, that does kind of, we bring a little bit more to the party at that point, I believe. But as I was kind of hinting at earlier, what's really cool with this product too is we've got guaranteed issue options. And I think this was even in the invite, right? Like this to me is a big thing that stands out. This was in this webinar invite for you. Guaranteed issue from ages 60 to 74. And so for those people who are really right in that kind of pre-Medicare age, and then into that first decade or so of Medicare eligibility, we can get them on one of these products with zero underwriting. And even beyond that, right? If they've already aged into that population for quite some time, we can issue this to someone all the way up to age 90. So a much broader range than what you might have seen in the past with products on this UnitedHealth One label. So try to come in there with really competitive rates and commissions. I won't speak to that stuff specifically just because, again, there's a lot of variation that's in there. That's something you can definitely, you can find these, you can quote, get our rates in the e-store, and then, you can talk with Serena or any of the folks there at Pinnacle when it comes to the commission side of things. They'll help you out on that. But a lot of flexibility in the benefit selection here too. So this isn't just like a plug and play type, hey, we've got one or two options. There are some great deals in here that you can come in and look at it. So depending on how their Medicare Advantage plan is set up, you can really tailor this to fit those gaps in whatever their existing coverage is. So I think that's pretty cool there. And we've got a Part B prescription rider that's available. So it's kind of the base plan. You can choose some different options in there, add on some different benefits, and really make sure that this is, again, not a one size fits all, right? This is a really tailored product that's going to help those clients out. So a couple little plan specifications. This is all, we have our e-store broker portal. If you are not already familiar with that, if you're not already set up with that, we can get that going pretty easily. I can tell you a little bit more about that here at the end. But we do have the broker assisted application, so you can go through there, you can run a quote, you can actually do the app all the way through, so you can start it and then send it over to your client, or you can complete the whole thing, and we do allow that to be completed by the actual agent with what we call a security question. So you will ask a series of questions, kind of what was your excuse me, high school mascot or mother's maiden name or some things like that. You can add those in there. We're also working with a variety of external quoting platforms, Sunfire, Connecture, Benefit Align, to be able to get this up on those platforms as well. So if you have, pardon me, if you have a preferred vendor that you work with on that front and want to be able to put this together with that, we'll have that available too. There's no application fee on these. We do have, so I said they were guaranteed issue. We do have a 6-month pre-X clause. That's part of what allows us to do this on a guaranteed issue basis. And we'll look back at some of those things that have been existing as well. And then there's a height weight chart that's attached to this that would only apply to the simplified issue, right? Because as I mentioned, we have the GI options, so we don't even need to worry about height and weight for those. I won't go through all the other details there other than to let you know that most of these apps will process very, very quickly. Again, especially when it's guaranteed issue, we don't have to go through any kind of an underwriting process. As long as the application is completed and their premium information is good, we'll be able to send that through pretty quickly. So just kind of give you an idea of the base benefits here, right? And I know hopefully you're looking at a screen that's large enough that you can kind of break this down. I know there's a lot of numbers showing in here, but the main benefit here, so we have an inpatient hospital confinement for either sickness or injury. And so the benefit max and the benefit amount, they do have to be chosen there at application. So this isn't like something that they'll apply and they can come back in later and kind of go around with things, but they can choose anywhere, so they can get a 1-day benefit anywhere from $50 to $3,000 a day. And that goes in $50 increments, so they can really dial that in. Or they can do, as you see there, kind of a number of different, you can have it from 3, 4, up to 10-day benefit periods. And those would be in smaller amounts, right? It starts at 50, but only goes up to 1,000, also in increments of $50. So again, a broad range that they can choose there. Larger numbers on the 1-day benefit, or if they do want to break that up and have it over several days, they can do that as well. There's a hospital observation benefit, which this part appeals to me because I know there can be those times, right? They're maybe not actually being admitted to the hospital, but they're being held under observation for 12 to 24 hours. So we do want to be able to kind of give them that strong benefit there because that's clearly pretty expensive. So that will cover 100% of the confinement benefit that is chosen above. But it just got a maximum of 4 days per person per year. So just a little bit of a different deal there. And then if there is a hospital confinement for mental or nervous, then, pardon me, we have that at $250 a day up to 7 days. So a few different little options in there. Now so we talk about the guaranteed issue portion right now. The backside of that, one part of it, it's gated a little bit by age. I will go up to 74. as far as how we'll do that. But it's also about the amounts. So they will not be able, regardless of age, to choose the maximum amount of benefit and still get that on a guaranteed issue. So as you see here, the 1 day, right, where we would go up to 3,000 total, will go up to 1,500 as far as what they'd be able to choose on a GI option. And then if they do the multi-day, they can do it for up to $400 a day. There are some optional benefits that they can add on as well. You'll see these, and I'll look at those on the next screen as far as what exactly those are. But as you see on here, there are some maximums that are in that as well. So if it is someone who's, you know, relatively healthy and they want to buy up to some higher amounts, they can absolutely do that, right? They can be somebody who's 65, 66, we'll just say, we'll kind of put it in the middle of the range there, and they want to go higher than that $1,500 1-day benefit, they can. It would simply be a simplified, to be redundant, a simplified underwriting process. So they would have some health questions they'd have to answer. So as I noted here, there are some optional benefits in addition to those base benefits. I won't go through every single one of these bullet points because to do so would probably, it might put a few of you to sleep if we went through all of them. But as you can see, we can add on a benefit that would cover for a cancer diagnosis. We can do that outpatient provider administered prescription drug. There's an ER or urgent care, skilled nursing. We also see outpatient surgical, outpatient major diagnostic, ambulance, or wellness. So they can do any or all of these, and again, kind of round out that coverage to what, you know, they may feel is best for their interests. You know, I think with any of these things, there's a need for all of them at one point or another, but depending on whether it be cost or just the overall kind of state of what product they've purchased already, what they have on the Medicare Advantage side, what they feel they need to cover in terms of some of those gaps that are remaining, these can all be added in there. And you'll be able to see those and quote them very, very easily. So I noted this earlier. We're currently in 35 states. And so you're seeing us build out. Now, I know a lot of you are in the Northeast, is my understanding, but if you are selling elsewhere, we're going to continue to grow this. And I think you'll see a lot of growth in that Northeast area as well. So some of these are pretty new for us when we first rolled this out. And I just updated this map today because I hadn't done the presentation in a little while. And we've made some tremendous growth in this. When we first did, we rolled it in September, and I said I updated it. Of course, I forgot to change that to April of 24. As of September 23, we're actually only in 19 states with 3 more pending. So you can see that over the last few months, we've nearly doubled our approved states, and then we have 6 more still in the pipeline. So I know Maine is a new addition. We just got Delaware, had been pending. We got that added. Maryland's on the way. We're in DC, and you know, looking to add. I know we've got some ACA products that are in New Jersey. Pennsylvania has typically been a good state for us, so I would anticipate we'll continue to grow into some of those markets as well. But this was a really, really strong one for us, and we do anticipate continued growth as far as that goes. Giving you a little bit of a look here. So I had mentioned kind of some rates, and of course these can vary. So the examples that I'm showing here are for Texas. A lot of times you'll see that from us that we'll quote, it tends to be either Texas or Florida, simply because those are massive states for us in terms of production, and they're usually really good ones in terms of having all of our product availability, so we can do that. But let's say this is someone who is, you know, they've chosen a $400 a day for hospital benefit for a 6-day period. They got the $5,000 cancer benefit. They added on a $200 ER, $200 skilled nursing, $250 outpatient surgical, and $300 a day ambulance benefit. So we put all those things in there. They could also do the outpatient prescription drug benefit in there. You see it's about $8. But if we carry that over, so based on all those benefits, we look over here, and this is in that, those are all under those guaranteed issue amounts, right? So we're in that GI range, and it'll go anywhere from, at age 60, about $54 a month, up to $101 for a 74-year-old, again on a guaranteed issue basis. And if we look at some of the major competitors that are out there with us. Now, I will admit that it's possible some of these have shifted by a little bit. It's entirely possible. Again, we're looking at rates for Texas. So, keep in mind that this might be a little bit different in your neck of the woods if you don't happen to be in Texas, but we do tend to be significantly less expensive across all those ranges. It gets a little bit less, certainly in terms of the overall dollar amount difference and the percentage difference as we get a little bit up into the age range. But when we're talking about something, maybe as much as 15, 20% lower in a lot of those cases for some very solid benefits. So just to kind of give you an idea of that. But I want to take you through a little bit as far as our e-store quoting here. Now, I don't know how, again, some of you may be very familiar with this already. My animations are not working, so that's always good. So you're just going to see this blank screen, which is not really ideal for what I was meaning to go over, but it's not going to help you if you're not very familiar with eStore. But I'll share this with you. So again, if you are not, let me give a little quick primer for this. Check it out. Go through your folks there. Check with the upline. Let them know how they can get you set up, or let them know you want to get set up. They can get you an invite so you can be appointed with us at UH1. If you're already appointed, maybe you haven't been there in a while, you just go to UH1, that's UHONE.com/broker. You'll be able to go on and log into this. Very intuitive. Again, I'm really biased because this is the only quoting platform I work with for the most part. And again, United pays my check, so I kind of have to like what we have. But I really do feel like it's a very intuitive platform. It's very helpful in terms of being able to get in there, see the products are available without being overwhelming. We try to streamline a few things, and you'll be able to go in there, enter your client's basic information. Once what I like about this is based on your zip code, based on that client demographic information you enter, you are only going to be presented with the plans that they are eligible for, right? So if you are looking at somebody who's 70 years old and they're in Bangor, Maine, right? You put in that zip code, and you are only going to see the products we have that are eligible for them. So you won't have to worry about being dragged around to someplace and then find out that didn't really work for you. But then once you actually get those options in there, you'll see the options to choose the base rate, or the base benefits, right? Whether it's the 1 day or the multi-day. You kind of have the sliding scale. You can choose what amount you want on there, and then you'll be able to add in. And what I like about that, you can add in some of those optional benefits. You can see how much they're going to impact the rate, right? If we're working within a certain budget amount, we can do that. Or if the idea is to add in a specific set of benefits and then find out where you go from there, you can kind of do that as well. So there's a lot that you can find out from it. One of the cool things about this too, so we've really done a great job as far as the back end, right? We are obviously a sales organization, but more than that, we are a service organization. It does not do us any good to sell a product that someone can't use well, right? That they can't get in there and figure out on the back end. We want to be able to build out products that make sense, because I think, as we all know, when a plan does not work the way someone believes it's going to, they end up with serious dissatisfaction, and they may end up canceling, going somewhere else. That's the last thing we want. We don't want just people to buy our products. We want them to buy them, use them, and stick with them, right? And so this member hub is a great way for our clients out there, any of those customers, once they've applied, once they've had it set up, they can get in there and manage their plan, whether that's updating contact information, managing billing, if they need to submit claims through there, they can do any of that. They can print claim forms from the site. They can get that back to us, right? Do all kinds of things in there, but that's on our UHC member hub. We're trying to do a better job of this, honestly, across all of our products. Just knowing that, and this is, again, like I said, when I came into the industry 16 years ago, we were still doing a lot of paper apps, faxes coming through all the time, handling that. That's how you submitted claims. You had to fax them in, right? In a lot of cases. and it was very difficult. You could only really make updates through phone calls or faxing over information, and there wasn't much that you could do digitally or just on your own, right? You couldn't get into a website and do this stuff. And I think, the senior market is evolving to where there was a point at which, um, I would say that the Medicare space was certainly one in which most of the consumers there wanted to be able to do things through a phone call, or they didn't mind maybe doing a fax. Or I should say on the other end, they didn't want to do a digital online application, right? They weren't doing things through their smartphones, that sort of stuff. And while I will say that probably my in-laws and my parents are not, they would still rather be in person with a lot of those things. I'm looking at this stuff, and I'm not terribly far off from needing to look into this myself, right? And I'm all about being able to do this on my phone, access things digitally. So we're going to try to stay ahead of the curve in that regard. I know I've gone through these things relatively quickly and covered quite a bit of information, so would really be happy at this point. I don't know if there are any questions. I know the chat box is open there, but would be happy to address, to the best of my knowledge, any questions you might have.
Yeah, I've been watching. I haven't seen anybody type anything in, but if you have something, now's the time. Pop it in there and we'll be happy to answer it. And a question for you there, Evan, is New Jersey coming anytime soon?
I am not entirely sure. So right now it is not set to be, if we look at the kind of upcoming rollout, I don't have a date on that yet. My suspicion is that we're looking at, ideally, like right now, what I have kind of the roadmap for is more Q2 stuff, late Q2. So I would say we're going to try to get that out there before AEP, but no promises. So I do not know for sure.
Okay. Yep. Obviously, a lot of people asking about how to get contracted. So again, I'll get an email out and I'll make sure that you guys have, the information on how we can contract you. Basically, we send you a contracting link and you complete it like you would any other carrier. Do you have a paper app process is an option? I know some of us still like paper.
And that's I should have gotten into that, because I was talking about getting into all the digital. Right now, we've pretty much eliminated all paper applications, so everything right now is done online. That as I would have gotten into that. I got to look at my animations again. That's the trouble I get with sometimes, I think, carrying it over. But that's the nice thing, though. We have updated that process on our e-store. So depending on what folks are most, and of course, as a seller, you're going to have to be comfortable with doing that strictly online. But the nice thing about it is, if you have someone who's, maybe they're not as comfortable with having that that application emailed over to them or texted to them, you do have both those options. So you can start it, you can send it to them either on their smartphone or via email, or say, hey, I'd rather just complete it all with you right here. Can you just take care of it for me? You absolutely can. So you don't even need to send it over to them. You can complete it all right there with them by asking them a couple of those security questions, and it can be submitted that way. So depending on kind of what your preference is, what the preference of your customers are, you can take care of that a number of different ways, but they are all online.
Got it. Okay. And I don't know all the states off the top of my head, but is Indiana approved?
Yeah, that Indiana is coming. Let me go back and I'll bring my map back up. I'll go through my 4 slides of a blank computer. So
Okay.
there we go.
There you
So
go.
Indiana is coming up here fairly soon.
Yeah, it's the light blue. Yeah. Okay. Okay. That's great. And then do you have any flyers available? Like, I know we go in Jarvis a lot to get marketing materials. Do we have that availability with this product?
We do have some materials out there, so I know we can get on. I've got to check it to see, because our marketing team has been working. They've been a little under pressure with some of the new products that we've got out there, so I know they are working at getting like some little kind of one-page flyers, that sort of thing. Jarvis is a little bit more robust than our e-store right now when it comes to some of those things, but we are working on getting that. So I know we have, for sure, what we have available. We've got our broker guides and our brochures, and I know we're working on getting some of that. So if we don't have it already, and I've been out, so I haven't looked at it today yet, but I know that we have this stuff in the works. So I'll check that out for you. If I do have it, I'll send some stuff over via email and you can distribute that.
Okay, so I'd say that's a wrap. Well, thank you so much, and I will close this meeting out, and I will be sending out an email soon, and appreciate your time again, Evan. Have a good weekend.
All right, take care. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye,
Bye.
everybody.